Okay, here we go. I'm going to try and make my contribution to the lockdown situation a bit more of a light-hearted contribution in a way. I'm just really conscious we're in week 4 and people are still at home, and we've got lots to do in the garden and all sorts of things. I'm out in the garden now, but one thing that people are doing is playing games. So I wanted to share a game with you. To play this game, you're going to need a piece of paper like this, something to write with. You're going to need some counters. You're going to need 7 for each side. So I've got these little tiny baby pegs here, 7 of those, and then I've got 7 little earrings. Okay, but you can use whatever you like. You can make some counters as well if you want to. I need 7 of those each. Okay. Now this game was played. Probably one of the old. It is, I think, the oldest board game that we know about. It was played up until the 1950s by a very small group, the Parsidi Jews of Cochin in India. Up until the 1950s, they called it Arsha. But copies of this board were found in Ur of Chaldea, which is where Abram was born and raised, dating back. Some of these copies of the board are dating back 4,000 years. So, and several examples exist. There's a beautiful example in the British Museum, and the rules are quite simple for the game as far as we know. A great name, this guy Finkel, who is working at the British Museum, came up with a set of rules which I'm basically basing my mine around. He translated Babylonian cuneiform texts which describe the rules. Anyway, so here we go. Look, it's quite a simple game to play. So this is what's often called the royal game of Ur, because it was found in the royal tombs. These boxes were found in the tombs. So look, first you've got to draw a board. So here's your piece of paper. Let's go like this. Basically, it's 20 squares. That's the shape of the board. And cutting it out like this, okay, so that you end up with 20 squares. Okay, so you've got 12 here, you've got 6 here, you've got 2 in the center, and then you've got some special squares. This one, so I'm going to do a little flower in this one, do a little flower in this one, do a little flower in that one, do a little flower here, like that. Okay, so that's the basic outline for the board. And what it is, it's a race game. And what you're trying to do is you're competing. So you've got your 7 pieces on that side. You've got your 7 pieces on this side. And the idea of the game is to get your piece. So if you're this ones, you're going to get your piece moving. You come onto the board this way, down here, then along here, up here, back down here, and then off again at the other end. And the people you're playing against, well, they're doing the opposite. They're going down here, along here, down, and then off again. And you can bring on as many pieces as you like onto the board. And if you land on one of these ones, you get to throw your dice again. You get another turn. So you might, like, let's say if you throw a 4, and then you could throw again, and then you could throw another 4, and you get onto that one. You can't be taken by your opponent while you're in these areas, but you can be taken by your opponent when you're in these areas, and you can't leapfrog over your opponent either. So if you find yourself blocked in, you just have to miss a go. So what's unusual is you need a 4-sided dice. So you need a phone and I found on my phone that if I asked for what was it called? It was called Roll Dice Online. You've got like an online four-sided dice that you can use. You can choose the four-sided dice, and then you take it in turns throwing. So here we go. Imagine I've thrown a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the other person has a go. I throw a 2. You come on. I can choose on the next throw to bring 2 in there. Another one, I could throw a 4. You can leapfrog over your own pieces, but not those of the opposition. Now these are all safe, but like once you get the next lot up coming up here, let's say if you get round there a 3, on my go, if I get another 3, boom, I can knock you off the board. Now the idea is to make your way all the way up, get over here, and when you want to come off the board, you have to throw the exact number. So like if you were here, you'd need a 1, 2 to come off the board. If you only get a 1, you're stuck there. If you get a 4, you can't come off the board. You have to get a 2 exactly to come off the board. If you got any questions, don't be shy. Send me an email or something like that. Send me a message and I'll try and explain it for you. It's really good fun. It's quite competitive. It gets quite intense once all the pieces start to come on the board. You'll get the hang of it. You just need to play it a few times. It's for children or for grown-ups. It takes about half an hour to play the game. And just think about it. You're playing the sort of game that maybe when Abram was a kid growing up in Chaldea, this is the sort of game that he might have been playing. Or this is, I think, in truth, played by grown-ups too, and you know, taken quite seriously, a bit like backgammon or something like that today. Anyway, this is the Royal of Chaldea board game, the oldest board game in the world, discovered in the very town that Abraham, father of the faith, came from.